And if this is not, if what we're talking about here is not what the Sabbath, that like rest day is supposed to be, what's it supposed to be really about anyway? The Greek word is a Hebrew loan word. It's Shavat. It means to cease or to rest, Sabbath. Like I said, it's the seventh day of creation, all the way back in Genesis. God ceases from his work and he rests. So at its most basic level, the Sabbath is about rest. Rest is good, right? Rest is good. How many of you guys know days off are glorious? So the 10 Commandments reaffirmed this principle. If you guys know this stuff, you'll know that the Sabbath is one of those 10 Commandments. Let's read it in Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. It says, remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Holy means set apart. Set apart that Sabbath day. Something special about that. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath, a resting to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, watch this, nor your son or daughter or your male or female servants, and not even your animals. Anybody ever realize that before? He blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart. And he gave it to humans to observe, to be a blessing and not a burden, because days off are great. It's going to go a little deeper than that. So as we read, the Sabbath applied to them, not just to the elites, not just to the rich, but it applied to the slave and the free. This is like a crazy principle. This is something that was kind of unheard of. It wasn't just for those who had, but it was those who had not. It wasn't just for the Israelites. It was also for the foreigners who lived among them. It was also for their animals. God made this rest, this proclamation for everyone. This is a big deal. And as we read, the Lord was behind it. It's a command. But maybe you're me. Maybe you're kind of like me. You're a little stubborn. It's like, what's the big deal? Like, is it really just rest? Come on. There's got to be something more, something deeper here. And of course there is. With the Bible, you scratch the surface and all of a sudden you're digging huge holes and it just keeps going because it's so deep. The word is so profound. So in Exodus, continuing in Exodus here, there's a great story about this day of rest. God brings his people into the wilderness. So there's going to come a point here in Exodus chapter 16 where they're struggling with this, where there's no food and no water. But instead of asking the Lord, who is their provider, they grumbled and they complained. But look what happens. When they measured it, when they went and they measured what they had gathered, he who had gathered much had nothing left over. And he who had gathered little had no lack. Every man had gathered according to each one's need. Right? So you mean to tell me that the young guy who worked his tail off 3 times faster than the older guy next to him, that guy at the end of the day didn't end up with more than the old guy who couldn't move as fast? That somehow, some way, they both still had exactly what they needed? None left over and none lacking? So is this story about their hard work? About what they're doing when they go out to the field on that day before the Sabbath? It's like about how hard you're working out there on that day? Or is this story about trusting in God, who is ultimately your provider, and obedience to him because he's able to provide above and beyond what we can do for ourselves? You see, obedience, when it comes to God, obedience produces more than occupation. God can do more in your stillness than in your unregulated busyness.